Yo, what is up YouTube? Back with another video. And today, I'm going to be talking about the question, are the Pittsburgh Steelers starting 6-0? I know, it kind of sounds weird. 6-0? What's the significance of 6-0? What about 7-0? What about 8-0? Why 6-0? Well, I'm going to admit it right now, the Steelers, they played the Ravens week 7 in Baltimore. I'm not saying the Steelers have no shot in this game. I just ultimately think the Ravens are going to win. If the Steelers do start 6-0 and they're playing the Ravens, who also probably could be 6-0 in Baltimore, that game is going to be highlight of the year. Debatably, the Thanksgiving game is going to be the highlight of the year. But obviously, I think the Ravens are ultimately going to win Week 7, which is why we got to talk about the first 6 games. But before we get into the video, I would just like to say thanks for all the subs, views, everything. I appreciate all the support. Almost at 900, almost at 1,000. We were at 500 over a month ago. Wow, look at the growth. Thank you. Appreciate everything. And if you don't mind, please click that subscribe button. Alright, so let's look at this Steelers team. Obviously, the best defense in the NFL. The defensive line is dominant. This defensive line gets sacks. It doesn't allow rushing. It's the best in the NFL. Along with their secondary, which is debatably the best in the NFL. Little weak spots in the middle linebacker position. I'm not saying that Devin Bush is bad. I'm just saying it got targeted a lot against the Giants on Monday Night Football. And honestly, I thought that was the only difficulty this defense had on Monday. Obviously, one give-up play from Minka, that Darius Slayton touchdown, but that was only one play. So with the best defense in the NFL and an offense that is back, it's back. Big Ben's back. Juju is back. James Conner obviously injured, but Benny Snell, he replaces that injury. And of course, Eric Ebron, a tight end who I think is going to have a really good season just like he did in 2018. I can say this for a fact, Big Ben is going to have a good season. This team in 2018 with Big Ben, AB, Juju, not even Le'Veon, but all those 3 players, they were the best team scoring in the red zone. With a 76% touchdown scoring rate in the red zone in 2018, this team was first in the NFL. 2019, on the other hand, this team, oh my God, it was the worst, actually the 32nd in the NFL with 33%. Big Ben's back. I expect that number to go up to around 70. With that being said, this team's going to be good, but 6-0 is the question. So winning week 1, dominant defense, pretty dominant offense. Steelers probably destroyed the Giants, I should say. The Giants played well. They abused the middle linebacker position, and that was the only weakness, like I said before. Steelers won that game easily. Wasn't even competition in the second half. Week 2, they play the Broncos. Off the bat, I'm going to say that Pittsburgh is actually favored to win this game by 7.5 points, and it's in Heinz Field. It's at Pittsburgh. The Denver Broncos had a pretty decent performance week 1, but they ultimately lost to the Titans at home. And I don't even think they deserve to be that close because of the missed field goals. The Denver Broncos offense, Philip Lindsay, is injured. He's not playing week 2. AJ Boye, probably not playing week 2. So Melvin Gordon, the only running back they have, is going to be starting the entire game. And obviously, you can see the problem there. Allowing 6 rushing yards against Saquon Barkley himself. The Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line was dominant. And it's definitely going to be dominant once again against Melvin Gordon and Drew Lock. I think the Steelers offense doesn't even need to play good in this game. It's all defensive effort. I think the Steelers should win this game. Even if the offense plays bad, which I don't think it will, the Steelers are going to win this game. Now, week 3, a game that many people thought the Steelers were going to lose. I really didn't see it, but they're playing the Texans at home once again. So they're playing the Texans. The Texans' offense passing game obviously got worse. The rushing offense obviously got better with David Johnson, but it's not comparable, the difference between the two. Obviously, it's a poor decision to get rid of Hopkins, who was the best player on that team, debatably, besides J.J. Watt. But Hopkins was just a monster, carried that passing offense. He's gone. The passing offense was, struggling for the Texans against the Chiefs. And the Texans play the Ravens week 2. So with a loss to the Ravens, which I definitely think is going to happen, this Texans team is going to be beat up. It's going to start 0-2, and it's going to be playing a 2-0 Steelers. I think the Steelers should win this game. It's a mismatch. The Steelers can easily abuse the Texans secondary, which is horrible. The rushing game doesn't even need to exist for the Steelers because why does it? They don't need to run the ball. They have Big Ben back. The defense for the Steelers, David Johnson, the only bright spot on the offense week 1, he's not getting any rushing yards. I think the Steelers have a mismatch in this game and should dominate the Texans. Now, starting 3-0, I don't think people deny they're going to start 3-0. With a win week 1 and a proven offense, I think this team should start 3-0. Like, it shouldn't lose any of those games. But week 4, I think, is the hardest game. Week 4, a game that I thought the Steelers were going to lose before the season started, a game that they're actually favored to win, is on the road against the Tennessee Titans. Now, all I really got to say is the Steelers' defense is so good that it counters literally every offense in the NFL. But this especially applies to the Titans' offense because there's one player on that team that carries, and if he doesn't do good, then the team doesn't do good. And you know who that player is. Of course, Derrick Henry. Saquon didn't do good. I don't think Melvin Gordon's going to do good. The Steelers' defensive line is too dominant. I don't think Derrick Henry is going to get over 70 rushing yards. And I think the Steelers are going to dominate the rushing game. Obviously, the A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, Jonnu Smith connection was there for the Titans week 1. They could probably abuse the Steelers in the middle linebacker position, the weakest spot on their defense. But no long passes, no freaking deep bombs because Joe Hayden, Minka, they're covering that. But let's say the Steelers defense struggles in this game, which could happen because Derrick Henry's a monster. Then what's going to happen is the Steelers offense is going to have to step it up. Steelers have a history of playing the Titans well. You know, we've seen in the past, they destroyed the Titans 3 years ago. It was actually pretty funny. But they beat the Titans 2 games ago. I don't remember when that year was. They beat them in Tennessee. And I expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to compete in this game. I don't want to say the Steelers are going to win this game. But if they start 3-0 and they're all healthy, I expect them to win this one. Especially since the Titans, week 3, play on the road against the Vikings. If they lose that game, could lead to demotivation in this home game against the Steelers. If I'm a Steelers player coach, I would think long-term, this potentially could be wild card situation here. Whoever has a better record could get the wild card. Potentially be seeding if the Steelers and Titans win their divisions. This is a very important game for the future. Both of these teams should try their hardest, but the Steelers could win this one. Now, let's say the Steelers upset the Titans on the road. And look at that. They have a home game the following week against the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Philadelphia Eagles, they're a sad story. They have a very, very talented team. But what happens to them every year is the injuries. And it's a matter of time before Carson Wentz gets injured again. But even if he's healthy in this game, I don't think the rest of the offensive line, defensive line for the Eagles are going to be healthy. Obviously, Miles Sanders, Alshon Jeffrey, they were out week 1. Like, this whole team has problems with staying healthy, and I don't know why. So if the Eagles are not healthy in this game, which probably will be the situation, maybe not, I think the Steelers should dominate, even if they are unhealthy. But if they are healthy, it's going to be a closer game than I anticipate it to be. It's a state rival. It's not far from Philly. It's not a long road trip. It's a pretty calm week for the Eagles. If they're healthy, they can win, but no. I believe the Steelers in any situation are going to end up winning this game. In week 6, they play once again on the home field. They play the Browns. The Cleveland Browns, the same Cleveland Browns that scored 6 points against the Ravens and were heavily thought to win that game. Like, what even it is that, well, we got Cleveland who, I don't know, they might have their coaching situation together by now, but the play calls were questionable week 1. It's week 6. Maybe they have their stuff together. They have a talented roster, but they lost to the Steelers at Heinz Field last year with the same team, and that was against Duck Hodges. So with Big Ben back, I expect the Steelers offense to outscore the Browns offense about 10, 20 points. So I don't think 6-0 is like unlikely because their schedule's so easy. Just look at it. look at their schedule. It's so easy, which is why I made this video. Any other schedule they have, nah, 6-0 ain't possible. But 7-0, we're gonna have to see Week 7 against the Baltimore Ravens. That could potentially be a 6-0 versus 6-0 matchup. A very important division rival matchup because division lies in the hands of the game winner of this one and the Thanksgiving game. Alright, so I want to hear your opinions, and I'm honestly just going to disagree with them, whatever. But I honestly think the Steelers are going to start 6-0. Comment down below how you think their schedule turns out, but you can't deny the facts. I think 5-1 is probably what they'll start with, probably lose to the Titans. But 6-0, that's a question to ponder. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Adios.